So I guess everyone is back and my screen is visible. So for assignment part, you have to go to the Moodle link that has been shared with you once you log in and get into this particular course, UCRI Virtual Mobility Program. Within that, you would be having UCRI Activity Assignment 1. From this, you would be having guidelines which you have to follow. Those are written clearly, and I'll be walking through them now. And there is an assignment template that you have to use for your assignment part. So quickly walking through the guidelines. So this particular assignment is divided into two parts. So in the first part, we would be trying to gain an in-depth understanding about risk perception. And in the second part, we would try to understand how risk is altogether manifested from vulnerability and hazards. And for this, the group formation, each student is required to register themselves into a particular group. So we would be doing this particular assignment of studying COVID-19 risk manifestation at different levels. So each group would be having 6 members, and you have to go into this Google Doc, and you have to put in your name, email ID, and your college roll number. And these are the 10 levels that are available, and UK students should choose from the levels that are available for UK context, and the TIS students have to choose from the five scales that we are assessing for Indian context. So I'll quickly brief about the 5 different levels we are studying to understand. So we are trying to understand COVID risk manifestation at India level, at an household level, at an urban district or an metropolitan level. Here, by this we mean that you considered cities or urban areas, and we are trying to understand it rural districts. Here, rural district means a kind of a group of villages. So primarily that district should be a rural district, or comparatively, if UK doesn't have that particular category of areas or geographies, then they can choose the kind of a district or a province, what they call it, that in your country, to understand COVID risk manifestation. And one is at country level, that is India as well as UK. So you have to go now, kindly read the assignment guidelines, what exactly we are trying to understand, then put in your name, and this would be, and lock yourself so that other doesn't change. And we maximum 6 members are allowed in each group, and if after 60 people, if we have any extra participants, only then the new participants are allowed to choose from any of the groups. So only in that case, 7th member can come in, or else it is 6 members, primarily from the same country, they would be working. And then as part of part 1, so what we are trying to understand is there is a risk matrix template that is given. So you have to ascertain the likelihood and impact severity for all these hazards, and you can choose any particular 10 hazards of your choice that are specific to your scale of choice, let it be within your country or at an individual basis. And then primarily these hazards are chosen with reference to the global risks template that Dr. Fang has shown in the recent report by the World Economic Forum. And in this, and then we will try to, and then you have to color code that particular hazard. So how do you categorize that? Would that be a negligible risk or an acceptable risk, or as an unacceptable risk? At what level would you specify a risk to be unacceptable risk? You can use the ALARC principle here. And then in the second, so there are several steps as part of this assignment. And in the second step that comes under part 1, so we are trying to understand a hazard specific risk ranking. So we take SARS-CoV-2, that is COVID-19, as the particular hazard, but we are trying to assess the risk at different time scales. So what is your perception about risk in December 2019? That is when exactly China has informed WHO that there is an epidemic in Wuhan. And January, that is when it slowly started spreading into other countries. And April is some point where many countries went into lockdown, and August was a point where many countries started unlocking themselves, and February is the current time period. So at different, so I have given, this is how the template would look like. So this is in the Excel sheet that I have shared with you. So you have everything, the templates ready. All you have to do is discuss among your group, because you have to present these outputs, outcomes of every step, as well as write a write-up around this, why exactly you have chosen that particular likelihood and impact severity. So we want to know your key discussion points in arriving at the risk rankings. And when we go to part 2, similar to the event tree, problem tree, impact pathway analysis that we have seen, now construct an event tree linking trigger events or shock associated with COVID-19 with primary consequences and secondary consequences. This is a kind of example which you can use to specify the linkages. And then you can use thick arrow marks to show that the probability, when there is a food insecurity, the probability is much higher. The probability of malnutrition as a consequences is much higher when compared to civil unrest at this particular stage. So something that you can you have to look into. And using the event tree that you have arrived in step 3, now you have to build a vulnerability matrix to delineate the whole problem tree of COVID, considering the primary, secondary, and tertiary impacts. And for this, you have to take an triggering event. So I have given example for clear understanding too. So if I take example as an lockdown, what is an immediate consequence of that? There is a lot of unemployment. And unemployment, you can categorize that consequence severity to generally you categorize consequence severity. What generally happens in current risk matrices or risk assessments, that you overall categorize the consequences high or low. But now we are trying to understand the categories itself. So within a high impact category, what are the vulnerability indicators? So here we mean what are the conditions, characteristics associated with that groups at your scale of analysis. So when I'm speaking about health risk at an individual level, one good example is that elders were highly vulnerable. So those are the people who have faced high impact, or people living in urban areas. So what are those kind of characteristics that tells me who have faced moderate impact of unemployment or low impact? Low impact can be those kind of individuals, group, or society which had some savings to dispose of during these lockdowns. So it has, so there is a low income household or daily wage workers who come into high impact. And why exactly this particular condition exists is to understand the root causes. So what exactly are the root causes for this particular vulnerability condition existing, is because there are a lot of social security systems altogether. So if for example, I have given an example of migrant deaths in India, that was not at all directly related to COVID, but somehow due to lockdown and unemployment, it has come up. And what has increased the probability was there is lack of social security system to maintain food security as well as economic security for those. So we try to understand the associated stressors and root causes with that particular. So when you are in these analysis, we want to try to understand what kind of data source are you referring to. So is it an your judgment, or are you specifying this particular details using some data for reference? And then after these consequences, so we see now this consequence would serve as a triggering event for next level of consequences. So when there is unemployment, the next immediate consequence is in out migration from urban cities into rural areas. There is also food insecurity. So now we try to understand who are the high risk groups, who are the groups with moderate risk of this particular consequence and low. So we try to understand this at many levels. So I have just given three levels here: primary, secondary, and tertiary. You keep repeating as much as the this event tree unfolds. So you can start repeating these columns as much as necessary. And you can always, if there are unrelated hazards to for this particular event or something, then you can specify here. Uh, mm, in the next case, you would also have to identify any other particular hazard. For example, I have spoken during the Hyderabad flood slide that Hyderabad floods was an unrelated event to COVID, but the consequences are these two merge at certain point, and the consequences are that the transmittivity of COVID or the community transmission increases, and it was not because of the existing condition, but due to the new conditions that flood has created, and the existing conditions in a way that people need relief materials because they have no capacities. So we try to understand that in depth, and we have given certain examples which you can refer to start off with. And then in the next step, we have understood different consequences that are coming at different level, like unemployment, COVID, in-out migration. So from that particular list, we try to list down all the consequences, and you try to understand the relationship of these consequences to various hazards. So we have given four options. So is that particular consequence only related to pandemic hazard categories, or it is related, it occurs, that consequence occurs for majority of the hazards, or that consequence occurs only when two hazards merge together, only when two hazards or multiple hazards are present, only then we see that kind of consequence. Or it may happen that when we are speaking about issue of diseases due to sanitation, that can come after a disaster, or in subsequently in next few days, you would be understanding that many people across the world are living already in those conditions, that and they face those kind of risks. So yeah, the other categories highly exist even in normal times. And what is the likelihood of that consequence? So when we are speaking about pandemic hazard, so is it possible, is it likely? So these are categories that we generally use in risk matrix. So how probable is that this particular consequence would occur when there is a particular hazard altogether, and how do you rate that particular severity of the consequence? And then at the next level, we have understood the consequence, as well as the root causes, as well as the vulnerability indicators using these templates. So now what we try to do is bring them together in terms of different sub indices, as well as the main dimension of vulnerability. For example, if I'm speaking about social vulnerability, my subdomains can be education, health, security. It can be political, cultural vulnerability. So what are those indicators that would help to assess those kind of vulnerabilities is something that you have to think of. Add as many columns, which means you can have as many subcategories of vulnerability within the main dimension, and within that you can have as many indicators as possible. And uh, and then we now we consider concurrent hazard. So as I've told in earlier steps, so how did that interact with COVID vulnerabilities is something you try to understand. And then now again you have to repeat the step two. So we want to understand that after gaining so much of information, would you assess the risk altogether in a different manner? So that is one thing we want to understand. And in the final step, since you have understood the whole, hazard manifests into risk and unwanted consequences. So you know exactly the root causes and vulnerability indicators to so suggest us 5 action points for multi-hazard holistic risk reduction and 5 action points especially for COVID-19 risk management right now. And even the guidelines for presentation and submission are given. Each group would be given 10 minutes. So one among your group can present all the slides, or few people can present few slides and the other can present other slides, and you have to pre-decide and you have to be very quick while changing the slides. And this is the evaluation criteria which we would be using. The presentation skill, the clarity of thought and presentation, the depth of analysis you have taken in all the above steps, and what kind of reflections are emerging from the group exercise. Because even if you are working as in-country teams, you should remember that you are meeting different kind of people from different geographies altogether, with different risk perceptions, and they have faced different risk at different level, and different risks are wide present in their society at different levels. So how much can you learn from each other so that we can understand risk at an in-depth level is something we try to understand. And we have given the template in this itself. So if you're opening the Word document, if you double click, the Excel sheet would open. For your reference, what we exactly mean by shocks, stressors, and underlying lying disaster risk drivers, we have given it here. So this is all document that you have to refer to, and the guidelines we have made as clear as possible and within the assignment template. So you have to refer to the different templates we have mentioned within the guidelines: step 1 template, step 2, step 4, step 5, and step 6. So you have to put your outputs here, and while submitting the assignments along with the write-up in the Word, if you can neatly fix this into the Word, well and good, or else you can share this as a separate Excel sheet itself. So for this, you would be presenting this assignment uh, on 12th of February, that is Friday, from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. For Indian students, and 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for UK students. So this is the slot. As well as what we'll be doing tomorrow, I'll be walking you through assignment 2 tomorrow, because I don't want to confuse you. So currently, right now, look into the guidelines, understand what level of at what level you want to understand risk, and put yourself into those groups. And the rest you can always refer to the schedule, and then you can drop us a mail so that faculty members or myself, if you have any specific questions, we can revert back. That's it from my side. Any questions on this?
Girinath, you didn't tell them about the discussion forum that will be open for them to kind of clarify their queries. Is the discussion forum still open, or?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding that, ma'am. And for every assignment, you should use the discussion forum, which would be opening. So assignment 1 has a separate discussion forum where you put in your questions if you want to learn from the faculty from different universities altogether, or you want to understand from cross-cultural understanding from students. So if you have any questions or response, this is where the discussion would be taking on. So if there are any good discussions that went in your group, and coming up with the likelihood and severity level, you can put it here, so that anyone can add to make the question much more complex, to let us know that our understanding of risk is less, or maybe we can clarify that we have moved far in assessing risk compared to past. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, before we move on to
Hello.
questions, the next 3 days is going to be primarily with very little interaction, formal sessions. So tomorrow you have 2 hours of session. After that, for the next 3 days, you're going to be working in your groups and watching asynchronous video case study materials. And that's where a detailed concept note is put up, plus a discussion forum is available to help you kind of stay connected with us and know what needs to be done. Yes, over to you for your questions. And one more small clarification. The detailed, Giri, can you find, is it possible for you to show the vulnerable indicators that you are going to arrive at, the sub-dimensions that you're going to arrive at, would emerge from the detailed vulnerability matrix. That is, I think, step 5 that you do. This matter, you don't put whatever you feel like, but it should kind of match with the template 5. Can you show template 5, Girinath? No, so template 4. Yeah. So here the stressors, the consequences that you kind of identify are the ones that are supposed to be supposed to reflect in template 6. So it's not every template is related to the other. Kindly keep that in mind while you're doing your exercise. And yeah, the discussion forum is there for any further queries. Over to the group for questions and queries.
Yeah, before I take questions, thank you for pointing that out, ma'am. I would suggest students that please be reminded that you have to work back and forth along these templates. For example, in template 6, yeah, even if I try to identify if there is some other indicator that comes in that case, since it is not available here, now you try to decipher this whole table from putting that indicator. Did that particular indicator, which is significant for other researchers to understand this domain of vulnerability, isn't captured in my particular table. So you start understanding for this particular section of vulnerable groups. So what are the kind of consequences? So it's a back and forth repetition so that you understand this whole event tree and the how risk manifests altogether. Thank you. And now I'm open for questions.
Girina, just one thing. Where have we put the link for the groups?
Groups, just a second, Niti. So it is given in their guidelines itself.
Should we mention
the guideline
as
documents?
A separate... Okay.
Okay, I will try to ping it right now.
Yeah, just ping it to me. I will put it on as a separate link.
Yeah, sure. I'll ping it in the chat box too.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I think it's already come in the chat box.
Yeah, yes.
Thanks, Marina.
So that's it from my side. Anyone want to add anything before we leave for the day? No. So thank you, students and faculty from both universities that we have come together using this virtual platform. And then I hope students will take this as an opportunity to learn a lot about the practical implications and the field challenges of understanding risk altogether. And then through this exercise, especially now they try to understand risk in depth. Thank you.